Interim was started in 2004, and it began with the idea of creating a space within the curriculum where you invited a different kind of creative practitioners to come into Srishti with their practice. So in Srishti you had a designer based teaching. The framework for teaching and learning was design processes. Here we started looking at artistic practices as a framework for learning. So artists were invited, and the artists also who were mainly looking at practice which was new practices, or taking it, pushing the boundaries of artistic practices. The contemporary art practice itself, we were trying to look at where the new boundaries were being created. And those artists were not just from India, but from all over the world.
So I Never Asked For It is a campaign, a 3-year campaign which is looking at saying that there's no excuse for sexual violence, and it's not specific to only the heteronormative female, but looking at what does it mean to say I never asked for it across the gender and sexuality spectrum.
It has a lot of dedication and it involves your 100%. It might just seem like a walk, but there's a lot going on.
The point we are making is that everyone is entitled to live a life of dignity, and that humiliation is something we're fighting against. So in a sense, we look at there's humiliation based on caste, humiliation based on sexuality, and we're fighting a certain form of humiliation.
The larger goal of our project is actually, it's not just about the cause, but it extends also to our lives. Where in our lives we can ask ourselves that we do not stand for this, and we do not stand for any discrimination. And where in our lives we can ask, I never asked for it.
Most of them are walking the Pride for the first time, and we also, the class proposed that we should distribute or sort of share this diary across people participating at the Pride. And the diary is asking you, the diary has been titled The Dream Journal. I'm asking for it, where it's asking people walking the Pride to list down what is it that you desire, what is it that you ask for in saying I never asked for it. So that's one reason also why we're here.
The course is about trying to find text which can be woven into a kind of fabric or object or some kind of textile. And I asked the students to search for poetries which sounds interesting to them, and to try to translate it into a artistic work.
The poetry talks about the culture of that place or maybe of the region. So that inspirational poetry is taken up by the students, and from that they are going to create an image on the fabric.
For me personally, I feel like, to show the essence of the poem, to kind of bring about what the poem what the poem is really trying to say, is what I feel weaving stories together of what the place is about or what the poet is trying to say. A rough example I can give you is, it's not final, but my poem is something to do with illusion and reality. So when you're weaving, there are knots and all formed, but that's not your reality.
The basic idea is that we're a bunch of artists and activists and educators who work collaboratively to make storytelling graphics that use fable-style symbolic animal characters to talk about real-life environmental and social justice issues.
We have 3 groups in our class who are researching on 3 different issues which are valid in context of this region of our country. The issues are basically, one group is doing on Kaveri river dispute, and another group is doing it on LGBT rights in Bangalore, how the community survives in a city. The third group is working on collecting stories from Tibetan immigrants who are in Bangalore.
As as a process, we were asked to go and interview and get stories and experiences in relation to the same. And we went and visited a lot of pockets where there are a lot of Tibetan refugees, and we attended a talk by Tenzin Sundo, who's also known as the Bhagat Singh of Tibet. We've been collecting stories, kind of coming up with symbols and all of that.
But what we want to do is to ask the questions of, what does it all mean? Why are these things happening? Where do we fit in this picture? And we want to go to the people who know about these issues more than anyone else, because they're directly experiencing it.